The most dangerous person in the room is usually the quietest one. Not the loudest, not the funniest, not the person trying to dominate attention, the quiet one. And your brain already knows this. Think about it. When someone talks too much, you stop valuing their words. But when someone stays calm, speaks slowly, and never reacts emotionally, people pay attention automatically. Because silence creates something the human brain cannot ignore: mystery. And in psychology, mystery creates power. But modern people are terrified of silence. They fill every second with noise, music, notifications, talking, scrolling, because silence forces you to face yourself. And most people are running from their own mind. Your brain hates uncertainty. Psychologists call this the information gap theory. When information is missing, the brain becomes obsessed with filling the gap. That's why silence feels powerful. When someone constantly explains themselves, overshares, and talks nonstop, your brain quickly understands them. They become predictable. But quiet people create unanswered questions. What are they thinking? Why are they so calm? Why don't they need attention? And the brain becomes curious. This is why powerful people often speak less, because confidence does not rush to prove itself. Insecurity does. People who desperately want approval usually talk too much, trying to control how others see them. But the harder you chase respect, the faster respect disappears. Silence, on the other hand, communicates emotional control. And emotional control is rare, especially today. Modern life trains you to react instantly. A message appears, reply immediately. Someone insults you, react emotionally. A notification appears, check it instantly. Your dopamine system becomes addicted to stimulation. Tiny hits of attention, tiny hits of validation, over and over. And eventually, silence starts feeling uncomfortable. Why? Because noise distracts you from yourself. But silence exposes everything: your anxiety, your insecurity, your overthinking, your lack of direction. That's why most people cannot sit quietly for even 5 minutes without grabbing their phone. And the scary part? A distracted mind is easy to control. If people control your attention, they control your behavior. That's why silence is powerful. Silence breaks the addiction. It gives your brain space to think clearly again. Neuroscientists discovered that silence activates the brain's default mode network, the system connected to self-awareness and deep thinking. This is why your best ideas often come during walks, showers, or late at night. Your mind becomes intelligent again when noise disappears. Most people are emotionally predictable. Insult them, they react instantly. Ignore them, they panic. Challenge them, they lose control. But calm people are difficult to manipulate because silence creates a gap between emotion and reaction. The Stoics believed this was true strength: not aggression, not dominance, control. And control begins with pause. Think about the people who intimidate others naturally. They don't argue constantly. They don't overshare emotionally. They don't explain themselves to everyone. They stay composed. Because every emotional reaction gives away information. Silence hides your weakness. That's why negotiators use silence. Why leaders pause before speaking. Why calm people often appear more intelligent. Silence slows the moment down. And whoever controls the pace controls the room. Here's a simple exercise. For the next 24 hours, before responding to anything emotional, pause for 3 seconds. Before replying. Before defending yourself. Before reacting, just pause. Because that tiny moment rewires your brain. You stop living automatically and start acting intentionally. At first, the silence will feel awkward. Good. That means your brain is detoxing from constant stimulation. In a world full of noise, silence becomes a weapon, because the person who controls their emotions controls themselves. and people who control themselves become impossible to manipulate. So learn to become comfortable with silence. Most people never will. And that's exactly why it makes you powerful. Subscribe if you want to master your mind instead of being controlled by distraction, emotion, and noise.